Perfect. Welcome to Grit Meets Growth. Today we are joined by Anita Woodard of Woodward Administrations, a company offering a range of services, including virtual administration. We are excited to hear Anita's story and insights into her work. Welcome, Anita. Thanks a lot for doing this. Thanks a lot for putting in the time.
Thank you
Really
for having
excited
me.
about this session for sure. Perfect. Okay, then I'll get started with the first question and we
Sure.
can take things from there. Cool. So the first one being right, you took a plunge of starting a business in a particular domain, and when you did, how did you choose that domain? Like specifically, let's say virtual administration.
Well,
Like what was the thought process, and how did you, let's say, decide that you want to do this?
um, I've been doing this kind of work, both in the corporate world and the nonprofit world for my career, for probably 35 years. Uh, and I was getting to the point where it was, I want to be able to have more of an impact. Um, and my husband and I talked about it. He jumped into the entrepreneurial pool before I did. Um, and we discussed it and decided that we were going to go ahead with having me create the business. I was reasonably sure that there were small businesses out there that could really, really use an experienced admin who could help them, but they weren't in a position to be able to hire one even on a part-time basis. They were still too small. But and I was correct. There are so many businesses out there where they've hit that line where it's either the administrative work gets done and you don't grow anymore, or you grow and you ignore the admin, and eventually it all comes crashing down on you. Um, the most classic one is you start losing business because you're not seeing what's in your inbox, or you wind up starting to have problems getting your taxes to the accountant because nothing's in the system.
Yeah. So basically, like you chose something that you had ton of experience with, and then you were like, okay, you can definitely add more value to a lot of businesses. So that's
Mhm.
basically how you
Yep.
choose this.
I
Yeah,
work.
perfect,
I
right?
basically
Yeah,
work as a fractional administrator for businesses.
got it. That's great, right? Like, I guess that's one of the best sort of ways of doing this. Obviously, I don't really have that much of an experience that you mentioned, but um, almost I did a job for close to 2 years, 9 months is what the precise duration was, and I was in marketing. And post that, I was like, I want to do this by my own. Started as a freelancer, but then started getting to understand more about the work, and then started an agency. So again, even I did the same thing, which is obviously with a lot less experience, but with the same sort of a drive that okay, I knew something and I wanted to turn that into a full-time business. So yeah, I can totally
Absolutely.
relate to that. Cool, right? So the second sort of a thing, right, which about your business, which is it's not a conventional or let's say a easy to market sort of a business. Like it's not like buying a t-shirt saying that oh, you can directly just buy
No,
this.
no.
So how do you really market yourself? Like how do you strategize to create a marketing campaign where basically the point being that you reach out to people and let them know that you exist, and then when they need someone like you, they can reach out. So how do you do
It's a,
that?
it it's a combination of two things. One, I do a lot of referral marketing. Um, I belong to a BNI group. That's exactly what they do, and it's been exceptionally successful to me. In fact, I wasn't sure when I first joined BNI if I would stay, but I knew the one skill I didn't have was networking, because when you work in the depths of the back of the office, you don't do a whole lot of networking. And
So
I went, I'll treat it like a 1 year training exercise. And if it works, great. And if not, I've learned how to do networking,
Yeah.
and it was absolutely worth it. Um, I also get a lot of clients as referrals from existing clients who do the, oh no, I have a perfect person, you need to talk to them. And I've recently been increasing my visibility on LinkedIn, mostly talking about the uh, the administrative work that needs to be done in a business, because I think a lot of newer business owners don't necessarily understand going in how much there is to do. Like, it's, they know the thing that makes them passionate, that makes them want to start a business, but all the little bits and pieces that are necessary for running a business, for keeping it moving smoothly, isn't necessarily something that they're familiar with.
Makes sense. So that makes like sort of a complete sense, and like therefore like every business needs to understand their target audience and figure out ways of, let's say, reaching out to the right user or a customer for them. So yeah, it's does make complete sense. Cool. So you touched upon BNI. For our viewers who would, like, a lot of them don't know what BNI is, like, do you want to
Mhm.
let them know a bit about BNI and the type of role that it
It
would have
is
played?
it is
Like
a
just
world
yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah,
it's
go
a
on.
worldwide networking organization. And it's basically built on the premise of, if I help you, you're going to want to help me. Um, so we get together once a week. Um, we talk about who we're looking for as clients, who we're looking for as connections, and we learn each other's business, um, which makes it really effective because you effectively wind up with everybody else in the group knowing what it is you do and who you want to talk to. Um, and then as they go out into the world, they know, oh, you're having this kind of problem. I have a person for you. Hang on a second. Um, that's in essence what the organization is about, and it's been very, very good to me.
Great. Do you want to share like a couple of experiences that you would have had till now in terms of the biggest challenges that you would have faced as a business, and how did you overcome them?
Um, Less of a challenge for me because I had already been working virtually. But when COVID hit everybody, um, between both my networking friends and my clients, there was a lot of, how do I transition to working online? I've always been doing this in person. Um, I One of the people I was networking with ran a gym, and she was like, I can't, I'm not allowed to have anybody in the gym, and I don't know any other way to make money. And I said, no, 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 no. You've got a Facebook page. You've got a Facebook page that a lot of your clients are already following. Take the Facebook page, make a private group that you need to be authorized to get into. Email your client base that you're going to be setting up online classes through that Facebook group. Figure out what it is you want to charge them, whether it's by, monthly or by class or what have you. But you know how to do all of the exercises at home with home items. Do that. Do it. Stick a camera up. If needs be, start with your phone. If you've got a better camera, great. Something that you can connect to Facebook, and run the class like that. And it wound up working for her. It
Yeah,
wasn't as good as if she had the gym open, but it meant
obviously.
she could continue having a revenue stream coming.
And not just as a revenue stream, right? But at the same time, still engaging with your current customers so that once everything is back to normal, you can still go back, like they can still be back to you because otherwise, when you're not really contacting your people, there are chances that you miss out on them when things are back. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
does make complete sense.
Um, I had a new client, um, like brand spanking new, and he went, ah, this person who's very important to me on a business end, their birthday is tomorrow, and I have done nothing about it. Can I give you a budget and access to my credit card? Can you make something happen for them so that they get that they know I was thinking about them for their birthday? They're in several provinces over from me,
Okay.
couple different time zones away from me. And it was okay. Gave them some options. They said, "Yeah, let's do that one." So found a supplier that would do that, and like it wound up being a really lovely bouquet of flowers that we wound up sending. Um, and what I really appreciated from the supplier was they sent a photo of the completed arrangement the same day that I ordered it, so that I knew what it would look like when it went out, and it was spectacular. And then I got a confirmation email again when they had delivered it, and then I got the very nice email from the person who received it, going, "Oh, this is so sweet," but this was me in my client's email, so I was able to tell him they got it, we're all good, they're happy, they think you're a sweetheart.
That's a lovely
I
story.
Yeah, I like probably the most interesting thing that I'm working on. One of my clients runs a security service, locksmithing and security service in Northern Ontario. Um, he wants to do a very big project. I can't get too detailed about it right now, but
Yeah.
he wants to do a really big project, and he's basically gone, this is my, pie in the sky idea of what I want to do. Start pulling it apart and figure out what I'm missing and what we need to implement before we can start rolling with it. And it was, okay, this is awesome. You've forgotten these parts, and gonna have to look up other ideas of how to help pay for it because it's going to be a lot of money. So I'm looking into funding that's available through the government, funding that's available through various development things, etc. It is going to be a multi-year project, but it's a fun one.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Fun projects are always something that um, there is an element of something that you will learn at the same time. You're really excited about how that will unfold. So,
yeah, exactly.
cool. We talked about marketing, we talked about BNI, we all obviously talked about the challenges. But since obviously you mentioned that there are different ways that, like, let's say a lot of the business that you get is through referrals, but do you mind like splitting the different channels for you? Like, let's say BNI being one channel that brings in revenue so that anyone who's looking to start their own business knows that these are the areas that they need to work on when they're looking to build their own business.
If they're starting to grow, if they're looking at growing their own business, um, figure honestly figure out your numbers. What do you have to bring in to cover all of the expenses that you've got? And that includes paying yourself a decent wage. One of the most frustrating things I see with a lot of new entrepreneurs is they're paying themselves less than minimum wage. They're paying themselves often next to nothing. And I'm going, your time, your knowledge is valuable. Charge for that.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to have someone say no, because if you are worth it, you're worth it. And don't race to the bottom. Like, when I first started the business, I took a look at Fiverr, I took a look at I think it's Bark. Like, I took a look at some of the gig things, and I went, it's a race to the bottom. It's a race to see who can come up with the cheapest price.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm about. That's not what I'm doing. Um, all of my clients feel really well supported. They feel like they can rely on me for what they've asked me to do. Like, I tailor every package to the person that I'm talking to, like to that particular person. Um, but it's so easy to get into the, I need to lower my price so that the person likes me. If they need you and they're ready for you, they should be willing to pay for you and pay you
Yes.
properly.
So, but like still, can you like just also bifurcate the, let's say, channels that are bringing in business for you so that anyone
Like
who is
like I said, the majority of my work is coming in through my networking, through existing clients, and through LinkedIn.
got it. Like, so yeah,
Those are the three big channels for me. Now, LinkedIn specifically because I want to talk. I'm doing B2B work, and I want to talk to business owners. So I considered Facebook. I considered Instagram. It's not where my audience is living. So I will periodically show up there, but it's not the primary place where I'm expecting anything to happen.
got it. And like, have you tried Google ads and stuff?
No, I mean, like, I have a fairly complete Google page, like Google business page,
Yeah,
but no, I haven't done any Google ads. It's not worth it to me.
got it. Cool. So, the next sort of question, which is almost like we are coming to the second last question, which is, what is that one advice that you would like to give? I know that you already shared a lot of advices, but just one advice that you would like to give to someone who's looking to start from scratch.
Value your own time. Um, I know a lot of people who work far too long, and they work on the weekends, and they're like, they think hustle means working as much as humanly possible. It's not. Um, do really good, like, you can't forgive the cliche, but you can't pour from an empty cup. If you are not at your best, you are not going to give your best. So have good boundaries for yourself with your clients. Um, if you need to be able to give clients emergency access, explain what an emergency constitutes, because otherwise they need to respect that when you're not working, you're not working.
Got it. Makes sense. Cool. So now we come on to the last part of the
Sure.
podcast where what we basically do is we have a question for you, which we get from the last guest. And now I'll also ask you one question that I will ask the next guest. So the one question that I have for you, which the last guest shared with me was, how do you work on retaining your people?
Retaining my clients or retaining my staff?
More towards your staff first.
Um, treat them with respect, honestly. Listen to give clear direction, both in what I expect and what I need. and listen to their ideas when they're good, when they're valuable, um, implement them.
So, like, just this is not the question that they asked, but just a follow-up question, which is since AI is coming in a lot of now, sort of things can be automated and everything. So, how do you sort of plan in still giving people, but at the same time, obviously utilizing AI to get things better? So, like, yeah,
AI is a tool. AI is a tool just like everything else. AI in the hands of someone who is comfortable with it is a really good tool. AI in the hands of someone who doesn't use it all the time is less effective. The best example I can give, um, I had a client who needed to do a mail merge, and she was talking about the fact that it was going to take her 4 days. And I said, give it to me. It'll take me literally 30 seconds. It is the same thing with AI. I use it all the time, so I've gotten good at telling it how to shape the message that I want it to create. If you use AI 2 or 3 times a month, you'll eventually get better at it, but it's going to be a slower process, and you're going to have to do more refining of what it is that you're putting in. Whereas I can usually go, I need this. I need this in this kind of voice, with this kind of approach, for this audience. Go. And usually the first hit is the what I want. So
again, right,
it's
like,
a tool. It's a tool. If you want to get scared of it, knock yourself out. If you want to think that everything can be replaced by AI, the best example I have is I was testing out an AI for a client, and I asked it, are there more permutations of a 52 card deck, or there are stars in the sky? Oh, sorry, atoms in the universe. One of them is 10 to the 67th. The other one is 10 to the 84th. It said that there are more permutations of a card deck, which is, well, giving both of those numbers, said 10 to the 67th is bigger than 10 to the 84th. AI is great. It's not always accurate.
yeah, and it can like mess up really simple stuff at
Yep.
times.
Yeah, because it looked at two numbers that, if you know anything about exponential numbers, you go, no, 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 no. That one's
Yeah,
bigger. This one's bigger than that one. But it
yeah,
flip-flopped it.
yeah,
So AI is good. It is not yet anywhere near replacing people. And if you know how to talk to it, it's a tool.
yeah. Oh, cool. So since we got the answer for the question that the previous guest had, what is that one question that you would like us to ask the next one?
Hmm. How do you deal with the person who says, I'm not ready?
Interesting. But do you deal with the person who says he's not ready? That's a good question. This specifically for sales, right? Like as in like a client that says that they're not ready to move
Mm-hmm.
forward. Yeah,
Yep. Yep.
that's a good. Cool. So we have that noted down, and that's the question that we'll ask the next guest. So thanks a lot for sharing that.
Awesome.
And thanks a lot for doing this. Thanks a lot for taking out the time and sharing all the valuable insights. I'm sure that anyone who is going to watch this will get a lot of value.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
So sure. I still just need a minute. I'm just